Good morning, everybody. This is Mike Newmark from the PSC. Just checking people in here for the Slinger water rate case. We're getting people in from the waiting room and looking for the utility people that we're expecting to see. I see we have the consultants are connected. I'm not sure if the Slinger utility personnel are with us yet. So if you are one of those people, let me know. And we got about 2 minutes to start. We're live streaming on YouTube and we are here on Zoom. So thanks everyone for joining. We'll get started in just a minute. And I'll give some preliminary information about the process when we get started. Just curious, Caitlin, do you think Brian will be speaking today, or will you be taking the primary role here for the?
I am going to swear in the documents, and then Brian's going to chime in on an as-needed basis.
Okay, so I'm going to leave him off the pin here until he wants to speak. Still not seeing the utility, so we're looking for Margaret and Jim. Should be joining us. Any idea if they're having trouble getting connected or?
They were sent the Zoom information, and I am expecting them to participate.
Okay.
I just spoke with Margaret 20 minutes ago, and she planned on joining.
Okay. So who's speaking now? Are you part of the utility or a customer?
No, I'm not.
No, okay. All right. So yeah, I don't see them yet. So they should be here. Still a lot of people coming in, so we'll just take a second. Oh, looks like here they are. Okay. All right, there we go.
I just want to listen to it right now. Is that what you?
So is that the Slinger Utilities people? I see you there. I'm going to pin you to our screen. We got a lot of people joining in. So I'm going to first of all pin the people who, the primary participants here, the utility and commission staff, and then I'll discuss the process here. But there'll be an opportunity to take public comments, and I'll pin those people to the screen as we call them up, so that you'll get a chance to be seen. But in the meantime, just to keep the screen manageable, we'll just pin the people who we'll talk to first. Still got a lot of people here, so we'll let them in. Wait for that to slow down a bit before we get started. All right, maybe that's no. Well, it's slowing down, so maybe we'll just no, maybe not. How many customers do you have? So we've got 33 people on the Zoom, so.
How many people have signed in so far?
33. Room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you guys should be able to see the participant list, and I'm going to ask you actually, so you know, if you people do wish to comment, I'm going to call you by your names in alphabetical order. So If you look on your Zoom, the little icon panel there, I think it's at the bottom of your screen, you'll see who's joined us. They're the participants. And well, including everybody, there's 35 so far. So we'll see who wants to make a comment or not. But if you do want to follow along the list, you can see that list, and I'll be taking people in the order that you see it there.
Yeah, can you hover over the participant list on the bottom?
So the people in the room for the Slinger utilities, let's just test out your audio because I don't know if you guys were speaking like you're talking to the audience, but just want to see if we can hear you okay. So any one of you just give me a couple of words.
Sure, this is Margaret Wilbur, Village Administrator.
Okay, that's sounding pretty clear. And so the person who's kind of off the screen, if you are going to talk, just want to move into the camera a little bit.
Sure.
All right, great. So it looks like we're slowing down a bit with the people in the waiting room. So there's nobody left. No. I will just let them in as they come. So let's get started. At this point, welcome everyone. This is Docket 5510 WR104, the application of the Village of Slinger for authority to adjust water rates. My name is Michael Newmark. I'm the Administrative Law Judge for the Public Service Commission, run the hearings for the Commission. And what we're doing here today is creating the record in the case. And that'll be the documents we identify and verify under oath, and the comments we receive live from the Utility Commission staff and members of the public that join us before we adjourn. We are live streaming on YouTube, and the live stream will become a recording, and that recording will be part of the record as well. So people making their comments on Zoom will have their comments recorded, and that'll be where we will find those recordings in the future. So those comments in the future can be accessed through that. There is a link to the live stream here. I'm showing on our notice of hearing, and that's where you can also find the recording when we're done. So we're taking those comments live. We're also taking written comments. We've opened that comment period up on February 10th when we sent out the notice of hearing, and the comment period will close on Friday, March 6th. The way you can file a comment, I think we have 5 comments so far, unless I'm thinking about it. No, that's right. We got 5 so far. And we can take more up until the deadline. So basically the last second of Friday, you can file a comment online using the link here that's being displayed. And you can mail the comment to us as well. The only caveat is we need to get that in our office by the 6th, so mailing may be a little tricky in terms of timing right now. So what I'm going to do is put that information in chat. There's a one-way chat that I can send people messages. So I'm just going to send that here in case people want it. They can share it with other people, or in case if someone doesn't get a chance to make a comment, who wishes to make a live comment, who wishes to for whatever reason, you'll have that information. So I just sent that out, and you can always reference this on the notice of hearing. Like, that information is available. So what do we do with the record? The record is the documentation that's used to make the decision in the case. Now, the commission has the authority to approve, reject, or modify the application. So approve it with modifications or conditions. And the record is the documentation. It's the only documentation the decision maker can use to make that decision. So we collect that all in an open forum and give people notice of what's in the record, and then we provide it to the decision maker. So the decision maker in this case is Andy Galvin, the administrator for the Division of Water Utility Regulation and Analysis. So Andy's going to review the documents and the hearing recording, and based on that, make a decision in the case. Then what will happen is a written order will issue. It'll be emailed to the utility and posted on the commission's website. And where you can find documents in the case, that's the link here that I'm showing on our case management system. That's where you'll find the order in the case, as well as any other documents we have for this proceeding. So I'm just going to click that and show you what that looks like. So although it makes me do this for some reason, I'm not a robot. All right, so it's going to look like this. Generally, the case management system in the docket. Use this documents selection here, and then, well, it's not being displayed right now, but there'll be an order, a link to the order, well, and that's where you'll find, go right to the order. Otherwise, if you look at all documents, it just shows that all, shows that all in chronological order, so all of the documents filed. So we do have our comments and the notice and all the other documents here. So that's how you would get to the order. Pretty important thing to think about. So, all right, I'm trying to get back to the notice. All right, so that's kind of the preliminary items here. Then in terms of the process here today, so we want to get the record created. That's the goal. So I've been the administrative law judge for about 16 years with the commission, been with the commission about 26 years. And over the course of the time, we've seen many water utility hearings and rate cases. So the commission regulates 575 water utilities, and the commission is authorized to, or let me say, the utilities are only authorized to charge the rates that the commission sets. So the commission sets the rates. Utilities must charge those on a non-discriminatory basis. So that's kind of what we're dealing with now, is just the process of setting those rates. Commission staff, we have auditors and rate design people here who vet the application for a rate increase. They look at what's reasonable, they compare the cost to other utilities, and they make sure that the numbers add up correctly, along with the utility and its consultant trying to make sure that the filings are accurate and that the order, we present information to the decision maker that's correct and reasonable. Also, the one thing we want to just note in terms of this case and many cases like it is that for changing the method of fire protection service, the method of collecting the cost for fire protection service, that's a municipal decision, and the commission statute set up giving the municipality the authority to decide whether it's going to collect those costs through the tax base, through property taxes, or collect those costs through water rates, or sort of a mixture of those things. But whatever the municipality decides, the commission needs to put that in these cases. So municipal sets that parameter for whether it's going to collect costs for public fire protection. If it wants to collect those as a utility charge, the commission needs to do that. It's going to check and make sure that the cost is accurate and that the charge is reflected in the actual charges or what's being proposed to get collected. But in terms of the theory, like, does it go on a tax roll? Does it go on a rate, the water charges, or sort of a mixture of those? That's a municipal decision. So I know people may have a lot to say about that here today, but just in that conceptually speaking, that's not going to be something we can really change at this point in the case. So I just want people to be aware of that. Also, this case is only dealing with water service. It's not dealing with sewer or stormwater or anything that might be on the bill that you get for this from the municipality, like like trash collection and things like that. And so I know that all adds up to be a big bill in the end, but Commission only regulates the water portion of that bill. So that's all we're dealing with here. So I just wanted to make that clear for everybody. We're still getting people in here, so I'm glad I'm just rambling on. So those are just kind of things we want to think about. So like I said, we'll check in the documents and we'll give the utility and commission staff an opportunity to comment. And then it'll be an opportunity for the public to comment. Like I said, I'm just going to take people down the list that you see, the participant list. So basically, I'm just going to call out your name and ask you if you want to comment. If you do, just unmute and turn on your camera. Then I'll need to swear you in, get your name, and have you give your comment. Basically, that's all it takes. And we just want to know what you think about the case. So that's kind of the process we'll be going through. So if you can open the participant list on your system, that'll be helpful so you can see where you are on the list. But basically, I'm just going to go down alphabetically. So let's get started then. I think we'll move on and just check in those utility documents, commission staff documents. So I'm going to display that on the screen share. So I got an email from Eric Lindgren of commission staff, which identified the documents from the utility and the documents that commission staff is offering for the record. So you'll see that on display here. And we're going to have the utility check in those documents by swearing to their validity under oath. So we have the notice documents, and there should be some the resolution documents, as well as the more technical documents related to the water costs. So we can split up the verification of those, or we can take it all at once. But let's start with the notice to customers. Who do we have in attendance that can verify the notice to customers who's attending here today?
Margaret Wilbur, Village Administrator. We can attest that the notice was sent out to all water utility customers.
All right. So this will be good. Everyone can see how this is done. I'm going to swear you in first. So raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. Give us your name and title, please.
Margaret Wilbur, Village Administrator, the Village of Slinger.
All right. Perfect. And in terms of first of all, can you see the screen share?
Yes.
Okay. So we have the notice to customers. We've numbered those on the email here as documents 1 and 2. So you're familiar with those?
Yes, I am.
And are they complete and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, they are.
All right. And just give me a second here. Oh, yep. Down here. Okay. So in terms of the notice, can you just indicate how that was sent to customers? And it looks like you did have a description of that, but just give us, for the hearing, just let us know how that was sent out.
The notice was sent with each bill.
Okay. That's great. That meets our requirements under PSC rules, so thanks. And did you have any comment you'd like to give about the case?
I think the utility, I can speak on behalf of the utility that we do truly regret the large increase that was determined to be necessary with this case. Unfortunately, it's the result of many years of not keeping up with costs, and we are doing our best to resolve that and avoid this situation going forward.
Okay. All right, thanks. So we'll move on to the remaining documents. Will that be you, Caitlin, to verify those?
Yes, it will.
All right, so I'll swear you in. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
And give us your name and title.
Caitlin Harrigan. I'm a senior fiscal consultant with Hellers.
All right. And working on this case with the utility, is that right?
Yes, I am.
All right. So can you see the screen share?
Yes, I can.
And you can see we've labeled, for the purposes of the email here, documents 3 through 19. Are you familiar with those?
Yes, I am.
Are they complete and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, they are.
Okay. And do you have any comments?
I do not have any comments at this time.
All right. So just give everyone I'm going to swing back once we've checked in the utility, the commission staff documents, just so we can give the public just a brief description of what the cost drivers are in the case. I think that'd be useful because we do have probably like 45 people connected here. But let's do commission staff first and check in the revenue requirement exhibit. So that'll be Chris Borchardt. See you there. All right, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right, so Chris, I look at the revenue requirement exhibit. I see that was filed in this case. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, I am.
And is it complete and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, yes.
Do you have any comments?
I have one comment to make. In the revenue requirement, the commission staff asked the applicants who made adjustment in the amended 2024 PSDN report. The applicant completed all the adjustment in the amended 2020-24 PSD annual report. Okay.
All right, great. Thank you. So we'll move on to cost service study and rate design. Eric Lindgren, do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I'm having trouble hearing you. Sorry. Maybe.
I do.
Is that better? I think you're a little. I think it's better.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
All right. So you said I do. I heard that.
I do.
So for the cost service study and rate design, is that document complete and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Do you have any comments?
Not at this time.
All right. So let's swing back to the utility and let's just get a brief description of the cost drivers in the case. I know there was, delay for keeping up with costs was one reason, but I think there were some others that I'd seen on the notice of proceeding. And I'm going to take stop the screen share too. So go ahead. Was that something you could do for us, Caitlin, or should we?
Yeah, I mean, I can provide a brief overview. I think that one of the things that was identified in the cost of service study information was a large increase. The increase in water utility revenues would result from 104.1% increase in gross plan investment and 61.42% increase in operating expenses since the applicant's last water conventional rate case in 2010. So I would say that's a large driver of what caused the more significant increase at this point in time. They've just had a number of different capital projects, and expenses have been rising as a result of just needing to keep up with the cost of both wages and expenses that have all gone up in recent years. So all of those things combined and the fact that they haven't gone through a conventional rate case in several years resulted in a larger increase at this point in time. And then I think another thing that often comes up in these rate cases is during the cost of service study when they reallocate the amount, when they take a look at what is driving costs for the utility, they realize that residential customers can be impacted more occasionally when you compare the commercial customers or the industrial customer classes. Residential customers oftentimes or sometimes have larger increases than the overall increase, which was 60% increase, just as a result of the additional demand that they cause on the system. So that is one of the things that is kind of impacting residents at this point in time in this rate case as well.
All right. You mentioned capital improvements. Do you know of any major improvements that were made that this case is going to be collecting the costs for?
There was a well construction project in particular in 2025 that is being included in the cost, in the additional capital costs for this project. They have some AM1 metering costs as well in 2025. In total capital costs, I see about $3.6 million in 2025, I believe was the estimate that was put into the rate case application and included, and then kind of filtered through during the conventional rate case process with Chris about what costs had actually been incurred by the utility and kind of separated those out. But also just note that they have some additional capital costs on the horizon. So in the event that you wait for the conventional rate case application and submit at a later date, obviously if there's additional capital assets that are being booked into service at a later date, and those are taken into consideration, that's also going to drive up the increase necessary for the utility. So doing it at this point in time now is kind of limiting the impact for the utility overall. So just kind of keeping pace with where the utility is at this point in time.
Okay, and then in terms of the capital expenditures, the major construction, were they funded through any borrowing, and are they possibly low interest or interest-free loans?
I do see some general obligation and revenue debt for a number of these projects. I'm just taking a look at water system revenue bonds from 2018. Are financing some of these in general obligation bonds. So some tax exempt financing on these projects as well. So the utility, I would say, is doing its best in order to find appropriate borrowing for the projects that they have going on.
So, I mean, the idea about borrowing for these projects is that you can spread the costs out over time and over the life of the project rather than having to pay for them sort of out of pocket at the time you're building them.
Correct.
And that's kind of a way to just smooth the costs over time. You don't have a huge spike, even bigger spike than what we're seeing in terms of the rate increase. And anything in terms of the public fire protection, what's the change that's occurring here? I think I read in the notice of proceeding that there was a modification to that, but maybe I'm mistaken. So we could just review that for them.
No, you're not mistaken. The utility did elect to move a small portion, so not the entire portion of the remaining municipal charge, but a smaller portion of that charge over to the direct bill. So trying to take into consideration what makes sense for the general fund to continue to support, but also as municipalities throughout the entire state of Wisconsin are kind of moving to do, putting some of that on a direct charge. So some of it was already supported as a direct charge for customers in the village of Slinger, and they elected to move an additional small portion of the municipal charge to a direct charge as well. So that again was already also being paid for by residents out of the levy. Now it's just a matter of moving the portion of charge that was previously supported by the levy to the water bill. So just a
When you say a
reality.
small portion, can you give us sort of an idea what that is?
I believe it was 25% of the prior existing. I don't know the exact amount off the top of my head, though.
But
That's
that's
locate that for you.
that's okay.
10% is the amount that will be moved over. The board the Utilities Commission opted to do this over a 5-year period.
Thank you, Margaret.
Okay, so the 25% will be moved over a 5-year period, or how much would be moved over?
No, 20% each year for the remaining half of the amount.
Okay, so you'll be seeking approval for each time that each increment you'll be coming back to change your public fire protection rate. Then is that?
That's
yes.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not part of this case. It's just you'll be coming in when you want to make that change. Okay. All right. So I think that's all I have for now. But yeah, and then it looked like from the notice of proceeding that the utility did have two small sort of what we call inflation adjustment rate increases. We call them simplified rate increases, but that occurred during the course of time between the last conventional full rate case and this case. So that was an opportunity for the utility to at least ramp up a little bit of its rates to keep up with inflation. But it only did that twice in the period of time that it had the opportunity to do so, and I think it was allowed a couple more applications to do that, and it doesn't look like it did, but it did have that. It did take that opportunity to increase their rates, a small amount to keep up with inflation at least twice during that interval between the last big case and this one. So, and anything you wanted to add over in Slinger, the utility, anything you wanted to add about the basis for the case, or anything, if you want to explain a little bit more to the customers that are on the line, just feel free to do that. Otherwise, I can start taking comments.
I think the only other thing to add at this time is that we do plan to adopt the policy to implement the simplified rate cases on a more regular basis in order to avoid these large increases in the future.
Okay.
Be taking the policy to the village board at one of the next meetings to get that adopted.
All right. And I did want to note one of the comments that came in writing did talk a little bit about water quality, and I want people to understand that the commission doesn't regulate water quality. That's a DNR jurisdiction in terms of the contaminants or cleaning the water, so making it safe to drink. And from what I know about that work, certain things are not really required. I mean, in terms of like how it tastes and some of how it looks, as long as it meets the DNR's requirements, it's not something that really gets regulated. But people seem to be complaining about water quality and what they perceive as problems with the water quality. And it does cross into rates, because they're saying, well, we need to do reverse osmosis, or we need to soften our water because the water we're getting from the utility is not what we like. And but it's but the utility doesn't have any outstanding issues with DNR in terms of water quality, do they? Safe drinking water.
Right. We meet all the standards and have consistently passed any inspections needed.
Okay.
That also refers to one of the capital projects, though, that triggered this increase needed, because we have installed iron filters on more of our wells to address some of the hardness.
Okay, so that was that was a DNR standard you needed to meet.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Is that right? Okay. All right. And then I did hear that there was maybe a new project being contemplated. It's not involved in these rates, but it's something that you're going to be looking at in the near future. Did I hear that right?
I mean, eventually we will be looking into another well to improve distribution in the system.
Okay, but it's nothing immediately being planned right now.
Right. Nothing's being designed at this time.
Okay. Just wanted to clear that up. All right. So people have seen how we swear people in and get them to speak. So we're going to open this up to the public now. And like I said, we're recording the hearing, and the recording will be what the decision maker can review to see what the public thinks about the case. And I'm going to start down the list of participants just to see if people do wish to comment. If I call your name, and I'm just going to call what I see in terms of your screen name. So hopefully you know what that is. And just want to unmute and turn your camera on, and then we can get you sworn in, get your name, and have you give your comment. So first one is just the letter A, capital A. It's the first person who's on my list here. So if you do wish to comment, unmute and turn your camera on. Okay, so I'm gonna so if you don't answer me, I'm gonna put a no answer by your name, and then we'll move on. We'll recap, but we'll go back up the list, make sure we don't miss anyone when it's time to depart. But how about Allison? Did you want to comment? Looks like you just have a audio connection, so just unmute if you want to comment. Looks like Angela Weyer, W-E-Y-E-R. Angela, did you want to comment? Okay, and here's well, I'm just going to spell this out because I don't know what the different words might be. So it's AROENGELA. DEGHI. So if that's your screen name, just unmute and turn your camera. Oh, you got your camera on. No, but you don't have a camera, it looks like. So if that's your screen name, ARODEGHI. No? All right. How about Ben Kompa, KOMPPA? Comment from you, Ben? B. Needinger.
Good morning. Good
There
morning.
you go. We got a. Oh, you got an echo there, or is that? Did you just say that twice?
I said it twice, but there may be an echo.
No, I think you're good. All right, so I got your name. I got your C on your name now because you're commenting. I'm gonna add you to our focus here. And okay, great. So I'm gonna swear you in and get your name and get your comment. So raise your right hand. Swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
Give us your name, please.
Robert Neidinger, Village of Slinger trustee.
All right, go ahead.
So last year, the board met for at least 3 or 4 meetings to discuss this. We hired a consultant to determine what our rates should be. We were obviously horrified when they came back with a rate of 50% increase. We obviously, as a board, decided to bite the bullet, and this needs to be done. And we didn't have a choice in this matter. We voted to go that route. We were horrified when the PSC came back at 70+% increase. My comment would be, I would ask the PSC to reevaluate that and see if they can't provide some relief to the customers of Slinger and reduce it at least down to the rate increase that we had approved. End of comment.
All right. Well, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. And thanks for your work on this. Couldn't have been easy. I can only imagine.
Jesus, first.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And Kathy, you're next. Did you want to comment?
Unstable network.
Well, he's trying to redo.
Okay, I'm gonna mute you guys, Deborah, and I'm muting you guys because it's not your turn yet. But hang on, we got Kathy. Any comment from Kathy? Nothing. Okay. All right, Dale Flowers. Did you want to comment? Daniel Schmidtke. Coming up, looks like you've unmuted. Can you get your camera on? I see you there. Okay, excellent. All right, Daniel, let me pin you here. All right, raise your right hand. You swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes.
All right, name and comment.
My name is Daniel Schmidtke. I'm a resident and business owner here in Slinger. Moved here 5 years ago, and one of the benefits of moving to Slinger was its financial responsibility and lower taxes and low tax increases. And in the last couple of years, both property taxes skyrocketed, and the justification was it hasn't been done in a while. And if you divide it out over a number of years, then it's not really that bad. The same logic was unfortunately spelled out here, where if we would have just done this over the course of 15 years, it wouldn't be that bad. But bottom line is that wasn't done. And so when people keep saying it and as this commission, there's no names applied to it. And I'm concerned that whoever's responsible for this shortfall and lack of requesting for inflation increases and whatnot that they aren't identified. I don't know if whoever it is still has a job. But if I ran things like this in my business, I'd be under. And it's really hard. I have 2 kids under the age of 2. Every little price increase matters a lot. Like Spectrum just tripled my internet bill or something after just a couple of years. And that, like, I am going to have to cancel service with them and find some other alternative because we just can't afford it as a small family. So I think that's, pretty much my comment is I want to know who's responsible for this. And it feels like there's nowhere to actually go. And I can't change my water provider. But there should be more care taken in this.
All right. Well, I appreciate your comment. All right. So I think we have Darcy next. So you're on screen. Did you want to give us a comment? You just need to, Darcy, that's different. No comment from Darcy. How about Darla? You're on screen. All right,
yes, I'd like to comment.
All right, let me get you centered here. Oops. Okay, let me center you here. And any chance you could get your screen, get your face more centered?
Yeah, and my phone's bad. I was just gonna call in on verbal, but I'm doing the best I can.
All right, that's fine. Okay, so let me swear you in. Raise your right hand. And do you swear or affirm? Tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right, so give us your name and comment.
Darla Kazakowski. Our Slinger utility with the water, when you look at comparable counties around us since even 2010, we were already one of the higher rates. And now we're going to be even higher than the many communities around us. And some of the infrastructure of building out everything in a community of 6,000 has to be figured into everything for that amount of people. And when you spend $5 million on building a new park, and our property taxes go up for that, and then you spend another $2 million on a fire department, another $2 million on a library, all this adds up on fixed income people like myself, who is living on a Social Security raise of 2% or 2.8, depending upon the year. And then you got a 9% increase on the electric part. And I understand when you're in a small community, prices go up. But then we also have 1/6 of the student population outside of our district. And that adds to the property taxes. You only get so much from the state on each of those people. And I know that that's not all part of this utility part, but when they built the well and they just said they spent $3.6 million, well, that $3.6 million, instead of building a $5 million park where you already have baseball diamonds, 4 or 5 for a population of 6,000 people, you have 2 other parks. You don't need another park at $5 million. We have a beautiful library. We don't need to spend another $2 million on a library. And all that adds up. And I wouldn't be as annoyed. I understand the water infrastructure needs to be there. But that $3.6 million that they're spending on the water infrastructure could have been spent instead of spending $5 million on the park. And now you're going to have this raise of 75%. And I mean, I literally watch my water bill and use what's considered a lot less than what a normal house of 2 people uses. You know, I watch every little bit of my water. And that's all I have to say is that, no, don't build the library. Don't revamp the library and Village Hall at 2 million, take the 2 million there instead of raising my taxes and doing that,
All right. Well, I appreciate your comment.
and thank you.
Yeah, thanks. All right, Deborah Wolf, you're next. Did you want to comment? Deborah? Oh, you got your can raised? Yeah. Did you want to comment? You need to unmute, Deborah. Turn on your camera.
Unmute. Okay.
Yeah. And
Can't I?
Just sent you a pop-up about the video if you can.
I suppose.
Oh, where'd you go? Oops.
It's not functioning right.
All right, that's fine. No problems. So, okay, well, we'll just keep you off that. So, okay, I got you there. So raise your right hand, and do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, just state your name and give us your comment.
Deborah Wolf. With the recent property tax increases, this 78% or 75, whatever, for the water is completely unpayable to some of us that are on more fixed incomes. This is a ridiculous amount for it to be increased in one shot. And they increased our property taxes so much this past 2 years now that where's all that money going? Because the waters, the sewer and stuff comes out of there too. Our property taxes help fund this. Why isn't that enough then to cover this? I mean, we're putting up a $3 million new police station. Why? And here a 75% increase in our water rates? That's ridiculous. That's about it.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having this.
Sure, of course. All right, so we have Deborah Wolf. Now we have a person's screen name is just E1034539. So if you know who you are. There you go. Looks like you have your camera on. Did you want to comment? You can unmute for that.
Are you talking to me?
No, whoever's E1034539. I don't know who that is, but looks like you're muted, so I don't think. There we go.
I have no comment.
No comment. Okay, no problem. Thanks. Okay, and so we're going down the list in alphabetical order. So we have Fulfur Kathy next. Did you want to comment? And we have a couple iPhones. So we have two people just labeled as iPhone. Not sure who those people are. like one person was driving, so I just asked you to. Oh, maybe not. Not driving anymore. So, all right, we got one guy iPhone with the camera on. I see you there. Did you want to comment? Just gonna unmute you.
Hello. Yeah, I was gonna comment. I was trying to get on the laptop. I just got home because I started this. I was doing some work and stuff like that.
Okay, so no comment at this point.
Oh, I have comment. Yeah.
Oh, you do. Okay. Oh, all right. Well, if you
I'm gonna.
Well, we're gonna check on the other people and get back to you. So I'm just gonna add that. Oh, where'd you go? Oh, there you go.
I think I'm ready now. If
oh yeah, okay, I see you there. Okay,
switch to laptop. I had both going at the time.
Perfect, no problems. All right, let me swear you in. Raise your right hand. Swear or affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right, so give us your name and go ahead.
My name is Stephen Bukowick, resident here in Slinger for the past 5 years.
Okay.
All right. First, I want to say that this should have been, there should have been more people here. There should be either 2 meetings or they should be in person. It's an easy cop out for the people who have jobs and cannot attend, and for the retirees and the people who this is going to affect the most, and our on people on our budgets or our elderly, and just going on like that. So I just want to say that's kind of ridiculous in my opinion. Secondly, I've been a resident here for 5 years, about now, and everything keeps going up. You in the spiel you said what is reasonable, and with all your stuff, that wages and everything else that you guys have to pay for. Well, what about the people who aren't getting those wages? You say, is 75% reasonable to you? Was 100% not available, or you thought that would just be too much? I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't have a job that gives me even the price of inflation, and I'm not on a fixed income. So if you came up with 76% being reasonable, wow. I hate to see what you think is out of the range of 75% is okay. So I think it needs to come back to down to earth a little bit, because all our surrounding counties are not this high. What imminent threat is going to happen right now if you don't increase our water by that much within the next year? In my opinion, I don't think much will happen. You can't keep squeezing a penny and think it's going to, people on fixed incomes cannot afford us. I have 2 kids under 5. We cannot keep trying to find stuff out of this budget, of our budget that we plan. It's a good one, but we can't keep taking away. You're starting to get into food budgets. You're starting to get into anything else for my family, clothing, everything else, where you're pricing people out of this community. And 75, I think Jackson just had theirs increase 15%. Slingers is 75. Like, something else needs to be brought back and looked into, because 75% is not an acceptable amount. And I feel bad for some of my neighbors and stuff like that, because they're working, they're elderly, they can't get on Zoom. Heck, I even had trouble kind of getting into this at first. So there's more uproar than what you're just hearing today. And I think that it needs to be brought back. 75% maybe it should be brought down to what Slinger found, because I don't see anywhere where when you get this high of a number that they found 50%, that 75 or 70 is basically 76, 77%, not 25. And how reliable are these for our meters? Because I took we took vacations, and our usage goes up that month where we're gone. So I'm wondering how reliable these are, the meters and stuff like that, because there's no way if I'm gone for 10 days out of the year or 10 days out of that month, my water bill should be higher than when I'm here. And I just think that this is going to affect a lot of people, and we've already everyone is feeling it. So I don't think that it should be able to be increased this much. In my opinion, it shouldn't be legal to increase it more than 50% in at least a year. So I don't know. That's why I feel. You can't keep squeezing stuff out of people. Pretty soon, people aren't gonna be able to afford anything, or be able to. They're gonna lose their houses, for Pete's sake. If we keep getting squeezed as much as we are right now. That's just my opinion. It needs to be reassessed to a more reasonable number, or split into smaller increases over the next next couple of years. Because the way everything's going, but enough's enough. Like we can't take it. None of our jobs are increasing with even inflation to cover all these taxes and these increases, because it's never going to go down either. You're raising it 75% now. It's just never going to go down. Are you going to, if we do such a good job, are you going to lower the water bill? No, you're not. It's the same thing as the price we're up on food. Those haven't returned, even though we don't have the same conditions they were a year ago. They ain't going down. They won't lower them. So, that's just my 2 cents.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Steve. All right. So we have another iPhone here. I saw you on the screen, so I'm going to pin you. It's iPhone 6. I'm going to unmute you. I know you're...
Yep.
There we go. Yeah, you see me there?
Mike Glenn.
Yes. Excellent. Yes, excellent. So let me swear you in. Raise your right hand. Swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
So help me God. I do.
All right. Name and comment.
Mike Glenn. I'm a business person that has had a business on Highway 60, now known as Commerce Boulevard. My parents bought the property in 1966. We were town of Polk until I built the new building in 2003. And of course, we were forced to be annexed to the village of Slinger. I have sold real estate since 1977, and I have to concur with the other people that talked about Slinger used to be a reasonable place to live. And now it has become almost unaffordable for many families. The park, let's talk about the park just for a second to clear something up. As developers developed in the village of Slinger, they were required to add park fees. And Margaret can probably attest to that. Those funds were probably gathered from outside of, we shouldn't have had to pay as taxpayers for that park, because it was gotten from developers in order to develop those lots. And then if you look at the development in the village, how many people are paying this water bill now compared to what they used to pay? And as the village grows, sure, they have to build infrastructure for the well, but all those people are paying substantial amounts of money for sewer and water. So to hit us with a 75% increase in 1 year, nobody can handle that. And I'm 77 years old, okay? So I'm on a fixed income, but I also still work in a business. Fortunately, I have to do that because I have obligations. I have employees that I've had for many, many years. But I really think with all the expansion that the village is doing, they got to back off some of the wish list things that they have, like the lady referred to, the library. And, sure, we might have needed a police department, but, that all adds to what they're coming at us with now with everything else, higher taxes and the utility costs. So I think they need to revisit that. I'm going to make one other thing. I lost your Zoom at least 3 times while we were on Zoom, and I have high-speed internet. So I'll concur with the other gentleman that had made the comment that this should be public. I like the Zoom. I'm a senior techie guy, so I can do it. But I also lost connection. So I have clients that wouldn't be able to do this at all, not because they don't even have a computer. So I really think I will concur that it should be a couple of meetings that the public is able to come and look people face in the eye and say, here's the deal. So that's my comment.
All right. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Now that was Mike, right? Did I change?
Correct.
I thought
Correct.
I changed your name. Did I? I think I changed someone else by accident. Whoops. Let me do that right now. Hang on. All right. Thanks, Mike.
Okay, thank you.
So we got you. All right, yeah. So the other, the other mic, you're not really Mike, you're iPhone. Let me see if you wanted to comment, and I don't know your name, but the person connected as iPhone. Put you down as no answer for now. Okay, so I think I skipped over Heather. Heather, did you want to comment?
Yes, please.
All right, great. So can you turn on your camera?
I can.
Yeah, okay, great, thanks.
Hi.
Excellent, hi. All right, got you there. So I'll swear you in, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do. And
give us your name and comment.
My name is Heather Motisi. We've lived in Slinger since 2019. I'm just echoing what everybody else says. It's the 75% increase is unsustainable. We're very fortunate that my husband and I both have decent paying jobs. I'm in healthcare, and I will say our reimbursements suck. We don't get paid anymore, and everything else is just going up. I also echo what Daniel says from earlier, is there's got to be accountability for this. If this was coming for 15 years, you can't just clobber us with it. It's bad planning and it can't continue. So somebody's got to be held accountable, and it can't just be the citizens, because you're going to force people out of this lovely city. That's all. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Okay, move on to Jamie. Did you want to comment, Jamie?
No comment.
No comment. Okay, thanks. Jane Rod, RODD. Comment from you?
No comment.
Okay. Kayla, comment from you. How about Linda Epson, ESPN? Linda, comment? And then Linda's PC, like Linda apostrophe S PC. So if you're a Linda with a PC, was any comment from you? Nope, we have hang on, Linda Espin, your camera's on. Did you want to comment? Just
Okay.
unmute.
I got it now.
Oh, it's Linda PC. All right, we got both of you going. Let's take Linda Espin first, because she was I called her first. So let me pin you here, and I'll.
Well, I'm one and the same.
Oh, well, that's why I'm getting the
and
echo.
Linda
Okay.
Espin.
Yeah, let me mute one of those. So where am I not seeing you? Oh, you are muted there. Okay, well, let's try it and see how it goes. So let me swear you in. Raise your right hand. Swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
So I've been a resident of Slinger for 15 years. I've seen tons of development since I've been here. I was a factory worker. Probably my highest pay in a year is like maybe $35,000. Now I'm retired. So I'm on a fixed income. I moved here like other people because I thought it was reasonable. I've never had a kid attend school, and I've been paying taxes for that. So I just want to say that with my raise that I get from Social Security, Medicare pretty much eats a lot of that up. And so, yes, I did save some for retirement, but all these things are eating away at it. And when I first retired in 2021, it didn't seem like it was going to be so bad. But every year it gets worse and worse. And now I know why there's those people at Walmart or Target or Pick and Save or wherever it may be who are in their 80s who are working because they have to. They can't make it. So that's just all I wanted to say, was that it's very hard for us who are for sure not getting a raise and who did make okay money for our time, but things are going up way too fast for us to keep up. That's it.
All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we have Lisa Burns next.
Trying to get on mute or on camera.
Okay. Let's see if I can send you.
Can you see me okay?
Yes, yeah, I can. That's great. All right, so got you there. All right, I'll swear you in. Raise your right hand. Swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right, name and comment.
Lisa Burns. And yeah, I'm going to echo what a lot of my neighbors are saying. I just want to, I understand why there needs to be, these infrastructure changes. I don't think anybody is really questioning that. It's just the way it's being done so quickly, a lot of, we're a family of 5 right now. We're trying to help my son that's here. So it's just because everything is so unaffordable. It's hard for young people to even get out on their own and to find property in Slinger that's affordable. Housing is so high, taxes are high. Again, I'm going to echo what a lot of people said about property taxes going up and the different projects that are going on in the area. And then, whoops, we forgot about water. I mean, everybody needs water, right? That should have been first. So I'm kind of scratching my head at why and how that was forgotten for 15 years. But I just want to say that I hope there's another option. I hope that we can phase this in. I realize it's going to happen, but a phase-in approach I think would help. I'm going to also say that, yes, this should have absolutely been an in-person meeting. I'm at work right now. I had to flex out. I appreciate that it's online on Zoom. In some sense, that makes it more convenient. In others, I'm going to have to make up this time at the end of the day, and not everybody can do that. A lot of folks that are older can't get on. Again, I had a little bit of trouble getting on, and just to wait, it's what I thought would be maybe a half an hour meeting is now, we're going into hour 2, and everybody has to kind of wait for their chance to speak, which I appreciate. It's hard to listen to all of my neighbors talk about how hard they have it, because we do as well. So I appreciate that. Right now, my water bill is $60, which may not seem like much. If this goes up, we're looking at probably closer to $96. And then if the increase keeps going up yearly, somebody's throwing out like 3%. I don't know if that's verified or true, But, you know, you look down the road, I start looking and calculating what that's going to look like in 5 years. You're talking well over $100 just for water that I still have to filter, that I still have to buy salt for my water softener, that I don't know what kind of quality this is. You know, we're kind of being given vague answers on water quality. DNR is being thrown out there. You know, I'm just a simple person. Tell me what that means. You know, am I going to get a Gucci purse or am I going to get the Walmart version? You know, if I'm going to get more quality for my in my water, then maybe that's going to really make a difference. And I'll be like, ooh, $50 a month extra, you know, for crystal clear water. That's going to make a really big difference if I can drink it out of the faucet. But if I can't, then yeah, let's cut back on some of these projects that we're seeing. Yeah, it would be great to have a nice big library and convention center and in baseball fields that I have to call to get into, you know. I mean, they're public baseball fields and it's beautiful, but in some ways it doesn't feel like a public park because we have to call just to make an appointment to use them. So, you know, it's a beautiful village. We've been here since 2019. We want to continue to live here, but at the rate we're going with water increasing $100 this month, with my property taxes going up $100 a year, we're going to be priced out. Okay. And that's hard. I love it here. Some of you on the village board, I know I've talked to, you know, just different projects, you know, so I'm invested in this community, but darn, we've got to find a way to make this workable for people. Okay. That's all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, Mark Pentler, P-N-T-L-E-R. Did you want to comment? Just need to unmute. Okay, now someone's listed as none, N-O-N-E. If you know who you are, it's your turn to comment if you'd like to. Okay, then PV, the letter's PV. Comment from you? Okay, well, we'll try Rick. Just unmute if you want to comment. Rick. Okay, and we have Rob's iPhone. Coming from you, Rob. How about Sherry? S-H-E-R-E-E. Sherry, comment? Nope. Smith? Let me know by unmuting if you'd like to comment. Smith. Steph, S-T-E-P-H. How about Tiffany Sherr, S-H-E-R-R? Tiffany, did you want to comment? Valerie Wilson. Comment from you, Valerie. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the top of the list. People who joined us after we passed their name. Oh, Leslie, sorry. You raised your hand and you were out of order.
Okay.
So let me get you. I apologize. I kept thinking
okay.
I had to get to you. I'm going to add you here. All right. There you go. Raise your right hand. Did you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
So name and comment, please.
My name's Leslie LaCour, and I moved to Slinger last November. I bought one of the new condos. I moved from Michigan, but I've been in Wisconsin and Washington County and Dodge before. And I just have to say, I got my bill and I literally called your utilities company thinking there was a mistake. Your fees are almost 50% of the charges, which was unbelievable. Where I moved from, the water was included in their taxes. So my landlord paid that, and with housing costs, I bought this new condo, which is like the top of what I could pay out here, just because, for family reasons, I moved back to Wisconsin. But out of my $103 bill, $43.21 is all these fees and charges you're adding in. So when you look at the actual water charge, mine is literally $8.70. I'm not a huge water user. I'm one person. Nobody else lives here. I'm a professional, but I have like basically no write-offs. So I get taxed to heck really bad. And so when you look at my income and then I look at what I have to live off of, I agree with everybody else. If you're going to increase, I mean, this is my top. This was shocking to me. And my neighbor literally looked at me and said, I got my Slinger bill and it was $200. And we both live in 1,300 square foot condos out here. So we have the same amount of windows and everything else, only they have one more person using water. But that is shocking to me because one thing, that upsets me is I don't have a choice. I have to get my water and energy from you guys. So there has to be some kind of compliance with fees in the state and regulations because you're the only one out there giving these services. You have the monopoly. So I'm still shocked at what your fees are, what the charges are, but I agree with everybody else. This economy is not affordable, not for elderly, not for people on a fixed income, not for me, because I also have medical issues. So my medical bills are pretty high. And so I'm like, I'll move out of here. I mean, if I have to go overboard with my budget and be like, hey, I'm already wary of how much water I'm using, which is ridiculous when I get this bill because I'm blown away. So, that's all I gotta say. I'm not happy about this already. So
All right. Well, thanks for commenting. All right. So continuing down the list again, Jim F. Haven't asked you yet. Did you want to comment, Jim F? Doesn't look like there's anyone. Oh, Steve. Just the name Steve. We haven't asked you to comment yet, I don't think. So, Steve, any comment from you? Just unmute and let me know. Don't think so. All right. Oh, and then we have someone join us on the phone. Sorry, you're on the bottom. On the bottom of the list. That's just how this gets sorted. So if you're on the phone, if you'd like to unmute, you need to push *6 on your keypad. So this phone number ends in 140, but it's the only connection right now. So I'm going to send you a message there to press *6 if you want to unmute. And if you do want to make a comment, let me know. Give you a little extra time to get push those buttons. No comment from the phone call. All right. So let me ask anyone who hasn't commented but wishes to, please unmute, just let me know. Okay, don't hear anything. All right, so let me just get that screen share back up. So I want to thank everyone for joining us, listening in, and giving your comments. Like I said, we will provide the documentation and the recording of the hearing to the decision maker in the case. That's Andy Galvin, the Division Administrator for the Division of Water Utility Regulation and Analysis. So Andy will review the record and make the decision. And if you didn't comment for whatever reason, please feel free to send us a written comment. They're due March 6th, and there's the link to send it to us on our comment webpage. Also the mailing address. We just need to get those comments in by the 6th. So with that, I think, oh, yeah. Kathy, did you have a comment? I see you on the screen. Kathy Fulfer. Just unmute if you wanted to speak. I'll unmute you. Kathy, did you want to speak?
Actually, yes, I do.
All right, good.
Just a comment. I'm
So
totally.
hang on just a sec. I'm just going to swear you in
I got
first.
it.
Yeah. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And name and comment.
Kathy Fulfer. So we're building in Slinger. I'm totally unfamiliar with Slinger, but we chose the community because it seemed like a charming place to live. We're from Milwaukee. One of my issues with Milwaukee has always been the outrageous water prices we pay based on where we live, not available to us. Just listening to your comments, all I hear is that this isn't the end of it, that there'll be further increases once you address that you haven't yet addressed. And as far as this forum, I think it's outrageous that this is the forum that is being used to make decisions that are affecting so many people. And there will be so many people unaware of it, even though they got a notice in the mail. It's not quite the same as attending a hearing and putting faces, as was stated in the past, to make people accountable for what's happened here. I've never heard of anything like this. 75% is outrageous. Somebody dropped the ball. Lots of people dropped the ball, and I don't see anybody taking accountability, or there's no explanations. There's just, here's the bitter pill and you will swallow it. If I had known this before we signed our contract to build a home there, I would not have built a home there. I can pretty much guarantee that all the people in this new subdivision have no idea what they're in for. And as far as fiscal, there appears to be none. It's just, there'll be a Zoom meeting. Here you go, take your pill, swallow it. That's just my comment. And I think that you owe it to the village, the people there that you represent, to have an open public forum where people can come in and voice their concerns. I'm elderly. I can use technology, but many people, as was stated in the past, don't have a computer, don't have access to this meeting, don't even know that this meeting is occurring. Word of this, gets out, I'm sure there'll be a lot of public outrage, but at that point, it seems like it's going to be too late, because it seems like this is just being shoved down our throats, and that's what we're going to deal with. And that's just my comment. And it's unfortunate, because I was really looking forward to living in a community that's small, but I don't want to live in a community where there's no fiscal responsibility. So that's my comment.
All right. Okay, well, thanks, Kathy. Appreciate that. All right, so there's Steve with your hand up. Were you did you have something to add?
I have some. I just have a question. I know she explained it a little bit, but can you explain it in like a littler terms of, like, no offense, but like in plain English? So, could you explain kind of why it's going up, or these capital improvements? Like, can you explain a little bit more in English why it's necessary to be raised 75%? Because I feel 75% is a very high number that what is the imminent danger that we're facing here at being at 75, raising the water bill at 75%? Like, if you don't get the money or revenue from all of the citizens at 75%, bills, what will happen? Because I mean, the city doesn't seem like it's falling apart. So, and it seems relatively new in areas. So, if you could explain it in more layman's terms for some of the people who don't understand that, because I was trying to follow it, but I'm still like, I don't still understand like why 75% is needed. I get we didn't do it for a long time, but that shouldn't justify 75%. And I'm just trying to grasp that. If you can do that a little bit more if possible.
Yeah, I mean, we've been here for an hour and a half. We did try, I mean, we presented in the beginning that there are certain items that are driving the costs in the case, capital improvements and the time lag between the last case, and then how rates get designed. So there's a gap in the revenues between the revenue and the costs that needs to be made up, or the utility will not be able to function and won't be able to operate without meeting its costs. So the way utilities work in Wisconsin, they are segregated. So the utility doesn't get money from the municipality, and the municipality doesn't get money from the utility. They're segregated so that the utility needs to cover its costs of service. The costs of service are set at what the costs for all the inputs that are needed and all the capital expenses that are needed to provide service. And so without covering those costs, the utility can't operate. So there's that gap in revenue. Then the rates get designed based on meter size and customer class, and then that'll determine how much each class of customer is going to pay, how much their increase is. And the way that's designed is it depends on the formulas that show how much a certain customer class is going to cause costs to the utility. So the framework is that the rates are designed to cover the costs that the class of customers is causing. So that's the most fair way to do that. At least that's kind of the philosophical basis for setting rates in that way. So if you look at residential customers, they have certain characteristics that class of customers will impact the utility, cause certain costs for that class of customers. An industrial customer operates a certain way where the costs are caused they cause different types of costs or different amount of costs. So just in terms of the 75%, it depends on your utility, your class of customer and how that class uses the water. But it's all designed, when you back it out, it's all designed to cover that shortfall in revenues when you compare revenues to the costs that are being projected going out into the future. So the costs were the capital improvements, the well, and then the time lag, and like inflation for everything. I think it's totally, everyone realizes there's inflation, but there's inflation for the utility as well. So inputs in terms of chemicals and and making up costs for these automatic meters, all that's cost utility needs to cover, or else it can't operate. So, I mean, I think people had some great ideas about how to mitigate this. Certainly, I think everyone here should be looking to the village to scrutinize the utility and scrutinize its operations. Certainly they meet and they have meetings where they're reviewing their operations and they're approving projects. They need to apply for permission to build projects with the commission. So that's another opportunity to be involved and scrutinize the operations of the utility and their planning. I think But at this point, I think we're looking at the shortfall in costs. These are just real numbers, and then how that gets allocated between customers. That's the increase you're paying. So, I mean, what would happen is that the utility won't be able to cover its costs. So, I mean, I don't know. One of the goals of the commission is to make sure that doesn't happen. Make sure that the utility is viable to be able to provide service. But otherwise, it's really difficult. It puts everyone in a difficult situation, like we've been seeing, like people have been commenting. But we do have one of the utility consultants can add something here. I see you have your hand up, Brian. So why don't we get you connected here? All right, go ahead. So let me get you introduced here. I'll just swear you in first. Yeah, do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, so go ahead. Just give us your name and let us know your.
Brian Raymer, Senior Municipal Advisor with Ellers, helped with Caitlin serve as the utilities rate consultant, guiding them through the Public Service Commission's process to adjust water rates. Thank you, Judge Newmark, for the explanation there. One thing that should be noted is I don't think it's entirely true to say that without the adjustment that's put forward by the PSC, that the utility couldn't operate. Because if you note in the revenue requirement document, we did submit with a lower rate of return request that the PSC denied. But the denial there was based off of days cash on hand currently and not days cash on hand with the lower adjustment, which would have tripled the days cash on hand according to our cash flow model. So I just wanted to make sure that it's on the record to say that that one point you made about the utility wouldn't be able to operate with the adjustment the PSC staff has put forward is incorrect. So thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I was just speaking more generally, not specific to particular items, but that generally speaking, that's the goal, to keep the utility operating. But all of that information will be provided to the decision maker in terms of what the utility proposed, what commission staff analysis led them to determine, and all the comments. So that'll be all reviewed by the decision maker and taken into consideration when he makes that decision. So just to wrap up here, when the decision is issued, it'll be online at this link here, so people can review that. It's also going to be emailed to the utility, so you can get that from them as well. But at this point, I think we've hopefully got our comments in, and you still have an opportunity to file a written comment if necessary. Feel free to do that. So I want to just thank everyone for being here and paying attention to this and giving us your input. So I appreciate it. And thank you, everyone. We're adjourned, and we'll take it from here. Thanks.
Thank you, Judge Newmark.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.